let's start this off. I mean, you've done some Crown Jewel shows before, and they were big shows. They were, benchmark shows. This is different. You're adding, obviously, Tyson Fury and Cain Velasquez. How did this come about? When did the wheels start turning that this was even an option for you guys?
We're obviously when you put on global epic events like we've done with Crown Jewel or like we do with WrestleMania every year, the hardest thing when you get done with it is, okay, how are we going to top that on the next one, right? So how do you make something more epic? How do you cross that over even bigger? How do you create the next epic event? Obviously, ideas get thrown around a lot, right? And concepts get thrown around a lot. A few years ago, Cain Velasquez, or a year and a half ago, whatever it is, Cain had spoken to us, come down the Performance Center, but he still had designs on MMA and it was still there. He hadn't gotten rid of it yet. And since then, though, he stepped into the ring a few times, caught the bug for it, and has decided, you know what, I'm done fighting. I want to do this. The timing was perfect. So that one came a bit more organically through the door. The Fury one was an idea that just got thrown around the table. What are some outside of the box crazy things we could do? Tyson Fury's name was thrown out there. A few years ago, quite a few years ago, when he was at the top of the boxing world, there had been a reach out from both sides and just some loose conversation around interest, not interest. Okay. So I think that is what stemmed his name to get put on the table now. We thought, what the heck, let's reach out and see if that's something he would even consider. I don't even know that it was considered for this event necessarily, but it was, hey, what if the time came, would this be of something that was interest to you? And the return was absolutely. Matter of fact, I've got some time right now, right? I don't have a fight for a while. I've got some time now. Wow, hey, we have this event coming up. It just fit perfectly. The deal came together very quickly.
What's the risk you run, if any, with doing something like this, with bringing in stars like that and having them in a showcase like this at Crown Jewel?
I think you always run the risk of, with fans of, are they here for the right reasons, with our fans, WWE fans? In the past, you've seen crossover stars sometimes come in, and it's obvious they're not fans. It's obvious that they're just here because this helps their brand, or that this is a moment for them that escalates them, or as a paycheck, or whatever that is. Yeah. When that happens, it never works. And I think we know that now, and we've learned that from years and years and years ago. When we've done these in big ways over the last few years, they've always been people that are super passionate about doing this. Even going back to Floyd Mayweather wrestling Big Show at WrestleMania, I remember I helped train Floyd for that event, and the first time I spoke to Floyd about it, he was like, I've been a fan of this since I was a kid. My persona is based on a lot of this, right?
I get it.
Yeah. And his thing, like, literally, I honestly had to talk him out of letting Big Show beat him, like, really hard. He really wanted Big Show. Wow, when I was a kid, I hated when the other guy came in and beat the wrestlers, right? And I was like,
Could you imagine?
We're not doing that, so let's just take that off the table, right? But his level of, I want to go in there. I'm not looking to come in there and just do a couple moves and get out of there. I want to put on a show. I want, when that WrestleMania is over, I want everybody to be talking about our fight. When you approach it in that way, man, as a fan, for me, as one of the most passionate WWE fans that there could possibly be, I look at that and go, like, I can't help but respect that. Ronda is that way. Like, it isn't about, a match. It's about being great at this and using it and becoming awesome. Tyson Fury doesn't. I just spent the week with him at the Performance Center. He is not looking to come in here and say, like, hey, just give me a check. He grew up wanting to be an entertainer. He grew up hoarding tapes of WWE, not boxing, because that was what he enjoyed. He wanted to be a showman. He says it all the time, right? He's custom made for American television. He's an entertainer first, boxer second, just happens to be the best in the world at it. But this will be like Floyd was. I want to come in and I want to put on an epic show. I want everybody to leave Crown Jewel talking about Tyson Fury.
I want to end on this, at least for me. Cain Velasquez, we saw him debut not too long ago in different promotions.
Yes.
He's out there throwing around Hurricane Ranas. Like, his jump into this has been impressive.
Yeah.
Can you kind of talk about your expectations and how you've kind of, what you've seen, I should say, from Cain Velasquez?
Well, when we met with him before and he came to the Performance Center, it was never when he got in the ring with us and we were like, oh, right, athlete is there. Can he be a showman? Oh no, we're just at a tryout, right? So a little bit different, and the fight world's different. You repress all that stuff, and you just come ahead and punch the other guy in the face. So that was the question, but it was evident at the time he wasn't ready to make the transition. But the athlete side was never the question. I think as we moved forward, like I knew when he had signed to do the other stuff. I mean, that owner, we had talked about it. I mean, this was a long time ago before him ever doing it. I was interested to see what he would do. Mm-hmm. It's an interesting transition to see, like, what's he going to want to do and how's he going to approach this. Right. And when I saw what he did, I was like, right, he's having a lot of fun.
This is a wrestler.
Yeah, and he's having a lot of fun. Yeah. And to me, what I always look for in that, when somebody's making that transition, is, can I see the gleam in their eye to where they got the bug? Ronda had talked to me long before she ever signed with us about it, when she was still fighting. She talked a lot about it. I would think, like, a lot of people talk to us about this. When she did this stuff with us at Rock at WrestleMania, when we walked out of that ring, she was like, that is the coolest thing I've ever done in my life. I could see the gleam in her eye. I was like, she's coming in here. When I saw Cain do what he did, I saw he's got a gleam in his eye, like, oh, he's got the bug now. And right after that, it was, we had another conversation with his team. Yeah, I'm thinking about just dropping fighting altogether and getting into this full time. We should have another conversation then, because when you're willing to dedicate yourself to it at that level and you're that level of athlete, then you should do it at the biggest level.
Is it a testament to Brock's acumen as a businessman that he's willing to work with Cain? I mean, he could easily say, I'd rather not work with him. He's got that stature. Is it a testament to him as a businessman that he's like, yep, more money?
It's also a testament to get back in the ring with a guy that beat you up 10 years ago and whip his ass. In a way, yeah, look, we're all in a business of entertaining, right? And I think that while we want to make this the biggest fight and attraction and everything else, and oh my God, the what's going to happen factor of this, yeah, it's about putting on the best show we can. The next story of this, I said it in the press conference, right? So they have this like storied thing going on, but the next chapter of that story is written in sports entertainment, and now we can do amazing stuff with this and really, write out something that is spectacular and make it great and go from there. And hopefully that's what we'll do.
Are you aware that Tyson Fury is not only the heavyweight boxing lineal champion, he's also the Brawl for All lineal champion?
Is he?
Because Butterbean won it, and then Butterbean lost, and all the way down to Fury is the lineal
Well, there you go. I didn't even know that, but that's a good selling point now for us. Now, I don't know how much that sells anything, but yeah.
And just last one for me. Obviously, we talk about UFC guys coming in to WWE sometimes. If you had to predict one name that could potentially be next of UFC guys, would it be Conor McGregor, Daniel Cormier, or Phil Brooks?
Well, first I would say Matt Riddle, because he's already doing it, and he's awesome. By the way, I don't know if you've seen him. One of the most spectacular performers out there. Boy, if I had to pick one of those, I would say Cormier is probably the most, we've had conversations. He loves what we do.
That'd be fun, right?
Oh God, and he's. I feel like in a way he's custom built for what we do as well. He's an entertainer. He's just got a personality in some way that you can't help but like him, no matter what. So yeah, he's a guy that's custom built for it. But then again, you talk about a guy like McGregor. It's funny that the big names that are in that are entertainers, right? It's really what the world is about. Sports is about entertainment. When the great entertainers in the sports world really want to transition to what we do and be entertainers, we can do it in a way like nobody else can.
You mentioned Ronda. Is there any sort of time frame when we're going to see her back into the WWE?
Don't have a specific timeline, but she's with us. This is family for her. She's coming back. She has said it. She calls us all the time. I think the biggest tear for her right now is trying to do what she wants in her personal life and just missing this. It's hard to explain. This is like a family, and there's a brotherhood and a sisterhood here that is deep with people. I don't think she understood that walking in the door, but when she got here, she has said to me multiple times, it's like the family that I never knew I was missing, and the group of friends and an environment that I never knew I was missing. And I think she misses that greatly. She talks to everybody all the time. She's constantly with us, and she's constantly pitching her return. So if I had to guess, it would be sooner than later, but who knows?
We'll do one more. Cain said he's closed the book on MMA for now. I mean, do you guys look at him as a long-term guy with you?
Well, I mean, he just signed a deal with us for the foreseeable future. I think for him, closing the door for now, I've yet to meet the fighter that very rarely says, like, I'm done. done. Like, I'm too old for this, and I'm not doing it anymore. That doesn't leave, like, I'm done, pretty much. You know what I mean? Like, everybody leaves the door open, and there's I got one more run in me, coach. You know what I mean? And I think right now, in every conversation that I've had with him, that's out of his head. I think it's out of his head, and it's over here, and he's laser focused on being a sports entertainer and being a WWE superstar. But you don't know, right? You don't know if this didn't work out for him. I think he would possibly make a consideration of doing something else.
When you said foreseeable future, is that a certain amount of years that you could tell us that he signed?
Well, yeah, I mean, in perpetuity. You can't do this till you're 100 either. So yeah, we have a length of time.
Sir, I'm from Brazil, so my question is, what's the company's plan from Brazil for the next few years?
To entertain our fans there in Brazil as much as we can, and we have a strategic plan around, getting out further into the world and into other countries and recruiting talent from there. Brazil's no different. So we have a lot of fans there, and we look forward to entertaining them and them coming here and being sports entertainers as well.
Is there another event going to Brazil soon?
There's something in the works, I'm sure, but you have to forgive me. We do about somewhere between 500 and 600 live events a year, so I couldn't tell you an exact time frame.
So can I ask you, what's the next plans for Arturo Ruas?
He is doing phenomenal, continuing to grow, and I think you've seen him take steps forward. It's a big transition for him doing what we do, but he is now getting very, very comfortable in what we do, and I would expect big things from him in the future.
Can you expect seeing him at WWE?
Time will tell. Yeah.